So this is a buddy of mine. I've known this kid, Justin, for probably around 10 years now. And we've never sat down across from each other and talked about what we do. We've sort of mentioned, like, I knew he was a CPA, he knew I did insurance, and we knew there was a need that each of us could fulfill, but we never sat down and took the time to actually find out the nitty-gritty and the details of what each other did. So there's really no way for us to help each other. So right now, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit down together, we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna tell him exactly where my sweet spot is, what kind of clients I love to see. He's gonna tell me the same for him, and we're gonna see if we could help each other. And that's something that as a salesman you have to do with anybody in your network.
Depending on what the engagement is, the last firm that I was at, they do reviews and compilations, but they didn't have all the different licensing and everything required in order to do them. This firm does. Okay. And then some. All right, awesome. This firm is blowing up.
And is it better for you? Like, are you a lot more busy, or do you have to rebuild a client base?
I sort of have to rebuild a client base, which is kind of annoying, but I'm plenty busy.
Yeah, where you came from was smaller, right? Exactly. So like you got more of the share of whatever.
I have less clients now, but much bigger
clients. Yeah. How does it work as a CPA? Like when you get introduced to a new client, like do you just first go with like, what do you start with?
Well, it always comes down to, like when we say the engagement is everything. That's the job scope, right? So like what it's going to require, what they need, what has to be done. And when you figure out all that stuff, the ending comes down to price. Okay. And that's usually how they gauge the entire thing. If you're doing a job and it ends up being more complicated than it seemed,
then you
have to adjust. Yeah. But then that's also the fault of whoever's doing the engagement. They should have known that.
Yeah. So that's true. Okay, that makes sense. I want to do this again, and we'll bring like whoever you said, however you were talking about, the two partners that you were talking about. Yeah. I'll bring my dad, and we'll like sit down. We'll just talk about exactly like where we can 100% make shit work and how we can like get each other involved in our business. Because like my dad has his personal CPA, but that's him. So for me and the other salesmen, we have no one. It's just me. It's just like on our own. So I'm open to, I could help all you guys as much as I can.
Dude,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? So
absolutely, we'll work that out.
That basically went exactly how I thought it was going to go. Me and him are really close, so it's been basically back and forth of us saying, oh, let's refer each other business, oh, let's refer each other, whatever. But now that we sat across from each other and actually talked about it, there really is, like, there's a lot of places we can help each other. He's doing a lot of work with people that happen to be actually inquiring about insurance, so it really just comes down to me sitting down with his partners and talking to them and making sure that they're cool with it. But from what he's told me and with the conversations he's had with them already, they're completely open to having me in the picture. So we're gonna get lunch at some point in the next couple of weeks with those guys, and we'll see, like, you know, more specifics about how we can help each other and what we can do together. So we never would have known that if we didn't just sit down next to each other and talk about it. So it went exactly how I wanted it to go, got exactly what I wanted to get out of it, and I'll be doing a lot more of that, you know, with him and hopefully others. So it was great, and I'm glad we did it. I've been basically just following up with people all morning. I had these 3 accounts that I was working on, like guys that own parking lots that I've been kind of trying to finalize, and then this poor kid, this like 19-year-old kid needs car insurance, and he's just got no driving experience. It's gonna be so expensive. Insurance is weird because like you're selling things, you're selling insurance, but a lot of the time people come to you because it's a commodity. Like people need insurance no matter what, like no matter what the cost is. At some point they need it. So sometimes it's weird because they're looking for something cheap because they're young and they're just starting out, but because they're young, that's why car insurance becomes so expensive. So it's like, hey buddy, sorry, I know you're in college and have no money, but you're gonna have to give me $1 bajillion for insurance unless you have like shitty coverage. It's kind of tough. So that was what I've been kind of dealing with all morning. Now we're going to lunch. This diner fucks. It's so packed.
The most possible amount of spoons that could be in a salad. 4.
Oh, niches. Okay. So I have niche. Is it niche? Is it niche?
I don't know.
Do you say niche or niche?
I say niche.
I can't believe that I feel like it's so ambiguous. I feel like nobody could confidently 100% say this is the way you pronounce it. And the fact that there's 2 ways to pronounce a word in the English language baffles my mind. Like, no wonder nobody could speak friggin' English. Like niche, they sound completely different. Stupid. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, obviously my company writes all kinds of insurance. So I could write insurance for any kind of business. But when like I'm going out to sell, that makes it like surprisingly that actually makes it harder, because like you can't, when you're thinking about the fact that you can write everything or sell to anybody, you don't really focus on like one certain kind of a person or one certain niche, whatever. So your efforts kind of get spread out and you don't really learn deep on anything. You kind of learning a lot about a little as opposed to everything about a certain industry. So my buddy Jay Ciano actually sat me down a few weeks ago and was telling me about selling in niches, and it kind of hit me, like just clicked with me, and I decided 2 things I really love are working out fitness, so gyms, and restaurants. So the one guy is going to be this guy who used to own 24 Hour Fitness, and then the other guy is a franchiser for IHOP. I'm going to talk to them, see how much I can learn, pick their brain, and hopefully going forward, if I ever have questions, they could be 2 people I can go to, if I can establish a decent relationship with these guys. And that could help me a ton. Hey, Jack. Hey, it's Joe Cormio. It's Frank Cormio's son. I actually had a couple questions for you.
Oh, well.